Hello, this is Vance, and this is Wednesday, January the 17th, 2018. These are CL trades for today using the slow hand method for price action. Really, today was a kind of interesting day. I mean, yesterday we had a pretty good, decent run up. Yesterday's high was 64.35 and really came backed off yesterday afternoon, and this is the overnight. Prices dipped yesterday's low, went below yesterday's low. Yesterday's low was 63.39, kind of dropped down. This is about 5 a.m. Now, that was really the low of the day. Didn't get any lower than that. And the overnight prices moved up. And this was just at 9 o'clock, right? Right 9 o'clock is right here. Price attempted to go up, kind of went sideways, pulled back down, rotated along, bumped along this line, really right around the 63, let's call it 63.52, 50 area. And you can see, let me just show this to you. For most of the day, it bumped along right here. You can see this area. This is the first one. You can't really take a look. This is the open right here. Price kind of really bounced here, rotated up, and we're only talking about 15 ticks here. Came back down, bounced again, moved up 15 ticks, came back down here, and then we really went into this sideways motion right here. So when it went sideways like this, one of two things can occur. Now, is it price going to come back down here and retest this area, or is price going to head up in this direction? I mean, this is, especially when you start getting this overlap area right here like this. My idea was I was expecting that price would at least retest this area around here. And so I really saw a trade right in this area. See, we're in this part when it tests down here. So I saw a trade right here. For reversal trade. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't have gotten in here. You could have limited it along here someplace. I wasn't really looking at that. I wanted to see more consolidation because I wasn't sure, especially with this long bar here and this long area right here. But when it kind of turned around, this is kind of like a retest to me. And so when I saw that in this area, I would think that price would at least test out this area. And it did. Came up around here, got your 15 ticks off, and then pulled back down to this area. Now, problem is that if you moved it up to break even, or let's say that you got in one of these ones, or plus 10 as price got up to this area, when it pulled back, it would have probably taken you out. And so, but if you would have held on to it, you would have been rewarded with this move later on. But I don't know if you have the patience for that, especially when it goes into overlap like this, and especially when you're ahead by a fairly wide margin. However, later on, what I did was right in this area, right here, I was able to get in again. And I'll show you why. Now, it may not be that clear. What I was looking at right in this area was price kind of came up to this area, came back down to here, and retested. Now, I think that I felt that the new area of support was no longer here, but was slightly higher, because we see this area where prices came down, went up here, tested again right here, and then went into overlap again. The same kind of idea. 15 ticks up this way, and I didn't think price was going to come back down and retest this area. If it did, it would probably bounce here. But I was looking at this area right here as mainly more support. Let's see, a little higher at 63, 61, 62 area. And so when that happened, I got in at this right at this juncture right here. Now, price did take a while to work out, but then it came my first contract, second contract, and third contract, and I recorded it. I've got a record on that. So that's what I saw. What I will do, and I probably won't be able to do it tonight. So this is really just a quick update. Those are the two trades I saw. I didn't really see it going down, and then later on, I didn't see a retracement back to retesting the lows of the day, of the overnight. I mean, really, what I saw is that I thought prices were going to be heading up, and this is really at 4:30. I haven't checked the API report and so forth, but prices kind of rotated back up to about $64. So it did really get to this high, touched $64, and this was rest of the day. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give you the idea about, I'm going to do this trade in detail, maybe break it down tomorrow if I've got the opportunity, maybe tomorrow afternoon or something, but give you the risk reward ratios and so forth about when I got into this trade and break it down, because I have it recorded, and I'll stop it and I'll show you the calculations that I do when I'm looking at a trade in reference to initial risk, the risk in the trade, and the actual risk. So initial risk and then the current or actual risk while I was in the trade, and how at each juncture you can do that recalculation to determine whether or not to stay in the trade or or not, based on the tracking of the bars and support and resistance and all that kind of thing. I'll try to give you an insight of what I'm thinking about, but I'll do that tomorrow. I don't really have the time for that this evening, and I'll work through it because I've got, as I said, I've got it recorded, but this whole area right here, it took some time, and I'll have to edit it out. So when I got in on the trade, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 o'clock. Well, I can just double check here. It was about what time was it? It's about 11 o'clock, 11:10. So it was right here, right in this area right here. In fact, it was right here on this bar right here. So 11:10, and I said this comes rotating up. My 15 ticks was down here, and I'll show you where it was. The 15 tick stop was below this area. So it was right here. So it wasn't it was near these lows of the day, but it was below these ones, this testing area right here. And when this bar tested down and sprung right out of here, I got in at what was the price? I got in at 63.72. So it was right here, 63.72, and from that price on. So I'll talk a little bit about that. What the process is, and I'll try to go through its steps. It takes a lot longer to discuss than it is to actually transpire. But at 11:10, that's when I was in, and by the time it cleared out, it was 11:51. Yeah, 11:51. So it was well, I guess it wasn't that long a period of time. It was just over 40 minutes, the 40-minute trade, but. I'll discuss that as it was heading up this direction. It's pretty well straightforward. It kind of just moved up, as you can see. Your first contract, second contract, third contract. But I also moved it up. I trailed it with my. I moved the contracts up as it was moving up because I didn't want to give everything all back if it only just hit the first contract and turned its way back down. Anyway, that's the way I'll discuss that and try to give you a graphical I'll show it on the chart, but I'll also try to do the math and show you a picture of that as well for what I was my thought process in that case while I was in the trade, and go from there. Anyway, that's it for now. Just a really quick update for today. Interesting the way this one turned out, and I think you look forward to doing that, but like I said, I'll break it down tomorrow for you. And that's it. So if you have any questions, please let me know. This is Vance. Bye for now.